Hey.
Ooh,
just in case
Okay.
anybody doubted it.
All right, so we'll start with public comment. Anyone from the public want to comment? We have Peter Hayden online. And the rest are in the room.
can I ask a question? What? And I don't want to sound like I've been a little out of touch, but what's the status of the membership? Who's the current committee made up of?
Yeah, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 of us plus Sue Salster
Right,
plus Rudy.
okay.
Yeah, so next month is elections. We tend to do 1 term. And so far, so I will need to know of your interest to continue. Before next meeting in June. And then we'll have elections.
Okay.
And I think Rudy, the role of secretary and chair are all up for election as well. So if
Thank
you're interested in being chair, let me know as well. So.
Public comment,
Yes,
mushrooms are ready,
I think of you every time we pick one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you find more?
Mhm.
Ooh,
Like
morels.
morels or,
Nice.
David
David keeps looking for them.
Made a pizza,
great.
just wanted to put a nice light on things.
That
Any
is
other
nice.
public comment?
When you get to the point of, I mean, I think you probably already want some more stewards of the trails at some point in the future.
Mhm.
And I think that it would be good to find some younger people than those who are approaching 80.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say that.
So 80 or younger? Are younger people considered under 70?
She was thinking about things like Boy Scouts, but I don't think Tunbridge even has, I don't know if they have Boy Scouts, I know they have Girl Scouts.
They're
Yeah.
called scouts now.
yeah, now
No, they're
it's
still Girl
both.
Scouts. So, but anyhow, that was just a suggestion, going when things are moving along
Yeah,
smoothly.
I
I'm just saying.
think we can talk about this real quick. My sense, I don't know a lot of younger folks who are joining committees unless they're different than this.
Well,
Like
people
they're
in
not
their
joining town committees, right?
30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they don't have to join the committee, do they, to
No,
be a steward?
no, no.
So it was just, that's probably my excuse for why I
Yeah.
got signed up.
Yeah, I think we can get volunteers easily, right?
Yeah,
We have a bunch of,
Yeah, I'm just suggesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
good,
can move down and give him his
it's a
chair.
good comment.
If you don't mind.
Hey, Rudy,
No, I just.
we started, I'm recording it to make your job a lot easier.
Thank you.
So, Kevin asked, what's the membership? And I told him who's a member and who's up for election. It's all of us.
I kept the seat one for you.
And then,
Thank
secretary and chair are up for election as well, so. And if anyone wants those roles, they can grab them up next month. Do you agree, Rudy?
Yeah, public comment, everybody's over here jumping up and down.
And Ellen made a comment that to consider recruiting young people as stewards and volunteers, they may not necessarily join a committee, but to make sure we have some youth behind our initiatives.
Okay.
And we have some initiatives to talk about tonight that will require maybe some youth. So, all right, any other public comment out there? Okay, this is not on the agenda, but I think I was gonna put select board actions or select board follow-up or select board review, but I didn't want to assume there would be one. When I posted the agenda, so I just wanted to talk about, for those who were not part of the meeting on Tuesday. What was on the agenda was simply legal trails, right? And they wanted us to give a feedback on how is the state handling trails, right? When do they open them up? In the past, it might have been a set date, right? Memorial Day, weekend, that sort of thing. Now it's very, it's live, right? They use apps, they use the website based on the condition of the trail, right? So every trail is treated unique. And you can imagine higher elevation trails will be different than lower elevation trails. So I think when Rudy and I looked at it, it was only the paddle trails were the only ones open, right? The waterway ones, when we looked at it at that time. So that we provided that feedback. We also provided feedback for those who those who are stewards, walk their legal trail and gave some feedback on the condition, right? So I think Sue made a comment that Falls Hill is starting to get better, right at the top. The closed sign was knocked down somehow, maybe not on purpose, but maybe because I didn't hammer it in hard enough. And then she found some tire tracks that went off into the off trail, right? So even though the sign says walking only. I gave an update on Crossroad. Obviously, it's very unsuitable conditions to open up. There is a tree on the Dead Mullen side at the start of the trail down that actually forced me to trespass off the trail to get around it. And then Rudy and Thornton gave it update on Orchard Trail, and I think Baptist Hill, essentially recapping the fact that there's still obviously many trees down the trail, and that still quite wet from the spring mud and rain, not quite ready to open that up yet. Is that fair, Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything on Baptist Hill? Same old?
We did not want that.
Okay.
I can guarantee you that's open way.
Yeah. Year round.
Um,
I still feel that Baptist Hill was more a drainage activity than a road activity originally. I think it was to help drain that farm.
right. The long story short, it was an hour, 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. Lots of back and forth about the topic of, I don't know what triggered it. Was it Gary's comments? About maintenance on the trees, clearing the trees. But that turned into a lot of discussion, right? That Gary couldn't make a motion, but his hope was to deal with the trees that are on the trails. And there's a lot of public comment, and then a lot of, it was spicy. So to say the least, the motion, I don't know the exact words. The motion that was put forward was to allow for the clearing of trees once the stewards advise it is okay to access those trees. Is that close enough?
Think so.
And that motion is moved, right? So I would say the ball is now in our court. If we see trees that are accessible and it's okay to walk there, and consider the fact that I think they would probably employ the road crew to do it, right? So keep that in mind too. And they'll be tempted to use something to get there, but that can't happen, right? But
Well, I think it can happen, actually. I mean, they have to have access to do what they need to do. And they're not gonna move those larger trees without some kind of equipment,
right,
Right,
well,
which is,
yeah,
which
Means
is,
that
which is
trail
why,
needs to be a whole lot drier than
Yeah.
it is now.
well, but accessing it from the other side for those larger trees, that's why I raised that point specifically. And, you know, there was no, I think people understood, like, the road crew is doing this, like, they're not gonna walk in with chainsaws. I don't think.
Yep, so,
I mean, you could do the small trees at the, you know, from the other end and access that,
yeah, so,
but there's a maple. Like, this is not an exaggeration, right?
The one on the Dodge end of,
Yeah,
yeah. Now,
There's a couple of them that are pretty
Yeah.
sizable.
I mean, I suppose you
The-
could chunk it small and roll it, but
what's necessary is simply to make a passage through, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no need to remove,
we need to leave the wood there,
right?
right? Yeah. If we're not careful, we may say, hey, you have access, and then leave no trace doesn't happen. There's leave plenty of trace, right? So, don't know how to get around that. So just want to be conscious of that.
yeah, I mean, certainly the goal would be to not do damage. But, and I'm curious about whether, you know, I mean, John clearly is not in favor of having anything done, but knowing that it's going to be done. Whether it makes sense to, you know, reach out to him and say like, you know, the plan is to put all this at the side,
Mhm.
or maybe, you know, what would you like done with it? I don't know if that's an option.
Yeah, I think our role. What's our role? Our role is. We can access. A tree, walk into it.
And I don't know why you're limiting
Tell me otherwise.
our role.
Tell me how our role becomes, you can drive your truck in there.
I don't think
Well,
there's
the
any
road
need
crew
to.
is the road crew. Right? I mean, it's my way of thinking, if they're authorized to go in and work, they should be able to take the tools that they need to do what they need to do.
I think we gotta be careful.
Yeah,
So, but we have to be careful of what our role is, and we might say. We feel it's okay to walk in there. Right? So, I know tractors are driven through there, right, the field. So,
so, and that might be an appropriate
Yeah.
tool, you know, to support
it's just the timing of
what
that
they're doing
may not be in May,
Right.
right? I don't know.
because of wetness.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Cause I see, I've made the mistake and driven in my log road and
right,
we suddenly have channels of water coming down through
Right.
where my tire tracks are,
right.
Mm,
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with the basic concept that we don't wanna damage the trail. We don't wanna create damage to be able to make it more accessible.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, the point I'm trying to make is my feeling is we should not limit them to say walking only unless it's clear that that's the only appropriate thing for the trail.
Yeah.
I think that will take actually, you know, looking at it really carefully before giving the thumbs up that the select board asked for, right?
I'm leaning towards walking only, but if, if anyone wants to convince you otherwise.
I really don't, I don't see that anything more is required.
Yeah.
Than on foot.
The fact that you go in the town forest, you didn't drive up to that tree.
No,
No,
So how do they manage moving
I
That-
just,
that
like
size
with the
trunk
town
around.
forest, I cut it, cut a passage, cut it into small chunks,
Roll it.
moved it aside.
Yeah. So maybe that's.
Yeah,
Maybe that's workable.
Trying to open up for walking. at this
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or to be able to. Bike through it.
My understanding also is, and you know, there's probably. This is one of those areas that may not be entirely clear, is that the tree belongs to the landowner.
Yeah.
Unless the state wants to use it or has a use for it in, say, bridge building or some, you know, road activity, that's the only time that the town can say, we're gonna, you know, take these trees, otherwise it's the landowner's tree.
Yeah, so,
It's not a state road.
I misspoke and said state, yeah.
The town.
Town, within the right of way, the tree belongs to the landowner, but the town does have the legal authority, as far as I understand it, to use a tree that was cut within the right of way if they wanted to, say, build something. I don't know if it means like a corduroy bridge or something like that. But they can't just haul the trees off for, you know, employee firewood or something.
yeah, so so I've arranged today, I arranged with. On the crossroad, there's that tree down.
Yeah.
And so. Talked to Deb Mullen owns on one side, Farms on another side. And it's a Farnham tree that's fallen, but Deb's happy to use the wood.
Yeah,
So Deb has offered to arrange for that to be removed, and she's offered to use it for firewood.
yeah,
But it's two neighbors that
Right.
are able to work together.
right.
And so.
Yeah.
So that's happening, which I don't know when, it's up to Deb on the timing, but that's in motion, so. Any other comments or concerns or questions on that topic before we move on?
So
Yeah,
where,
I just want to offer up that I think given the circumstances, that the lowest impact way of going in there is best. And only clear what's needed to make the path passable.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the tree that's down, but yeah, I would think you'd buck it up and roll the pieces out of the way and try to have as little impact as you can. And yes, the wood should just be left there. Let's not even go down. Well, we don't have any use for it anyway, but yeah, it belongs to the landowner.
Any other comment on this? Before we move on to the next topic?
You know,
Yeah, from the public.
yeah, I didn't realize, because the town, I've had to been involved with the town moving a lot of trees.
Yeah.
We had to we'll ask someone if they need firewood.
Yeah.
They had like 10 dump truck loads.
Oh, wow.
They're getting permits from me to burn a lot of it.
Wow.
So I didn't know that when trees come down on my class 3 road, they don't ever ask me. I'm just happy to have it go away.
They already know that.
Well, I think they know that for most of the town, but I don't know if that's what the law is. That's what they do all around, is they just throw it in the back of the truck, get it out of the way.
I think the select board had a
Take it
sense
away.
that they always talked about, but
I
maybe they
think
don't.
if the tree
Be a
falls,
lot
they
of
just
talking.
take it.
I think they do too. They
Okay.
just take it.
All right,
But I can see, other than that.
okay. Any other comment before we move on?
don't want to open up that can of worms, right?
Great. Okay, so let's talk about the town, Wickeby Forest first, right? So I think we have a date, Brenda, for maybe a volunteer day,
Yes,
June 1st.
yeah. We've actually had a few projects up there already on the trails and I took some teenagers up a week ago.
Yeah.
And we cleared what we could clear, but there were 6 trees that needed a chainsaw.
Okay.
And it's a good example for me to reach out to someone younger.
Okay.
That can help with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And so June 1st, we're gonna spread seed.
Yeah,
And
is,
we're reaching out to all the groups. Come on over.
Okay.
Any little spreader you have.
Gordy is open to installing the signs that day. If we're open to that.
I'm thinking of trucking over my ATV so I can get, I have a heavy grill.
Yeah.
And a few other things so I can get it all up there.
Okay.
What we have in our MOU.
Yeah.
For the town forest is no mechanized wheeled vehicles, except in like up to the pavilion with permission.
Yeah,
And they can go up further for maintenance.
yeah, he will need to do
And they'll have to
that.
come through me to make sure.
Yeah.
You know, there's someone overseeing it.
So we're gonna need to clear some trees up there. And he will need to be able to drill for some of those signs. The two signs on the loop trail.
This is the garage lot.
What could be woods.
Wickapee Woods.
Oh, you said that and it totally went over. Garage.
It sounds like a magical
Wicked.
spot now.
Well, we're
Alright,
trying to
so-
make it that way.
Alright, so are we good to do a push on
So
that day?
we're already talking about using,
Auger,
tractor.
Yeah.
Mounted.
Yeah, so he'll be going, actually, I could use him. We could probably use the bucket to bring the grill up.
Yeah.
I don't have to bring my ATV.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I'd like to bring the seed up. I'll connect with him.
great. Excellent, I wanted to confirm that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so the kiosks are in. I think we're gonna wanna assemble them in place, right, get the posts in, I think that's how it works. And then, same with the signs. At some point, we'll get benches. And then we'll need to do another trip up there, so.
Rudy did a little impromptu survey with those teenagers. They came up another day.
Oh.
We did soil testing up there.
Oh, wow.
And he did a little survey about the kiosk.
Oh, good, you have a spot,
Their recommendation was, kind of angled at the end of the parking lot before
great,
you make the turn up onto the road up. My only concern with that is we're gonna need to make it clear that you gotta go up and around and get on that road,
okay,
so
alright,
I don't know if that's just a sign on the kiosk or something.
yeah.
I think it's sort of obvious, but if it sits at the level of the parking lot, you cannot actually see the road.
Okay. Alright, so we may make a different decision. When we see,
I think it would be worth assessing
Okay.
at the time of installation.
okay. Alright, cool,
That would be my recommendation. The student recommendation was kind of at that corner.
yeah. Great. During the select board meeting, John O'Brien asked, will we treat other trails like we do with illegal trails, right, where we have stewards? And I feel like it's wise, right, so I think we need stewards for Wickapee Woods and Drew Lot. So I'm hoping we can elect a few, vote a few people in for that. I had someone I've told maybe for Wickapee Woods, Brenda, she walks it more than most. I don't know if you're interested in it still, since I spoke to you.
I would also, I'd like us to try to reach out to some younger people to be my co-stewards.
Okay,
To be able to go up there and get things done. And I don't mean young where they can't carry a chainsaw, people who can go up. There are we have a lot of young people moved into town.
that's great.
This might be a good project for
And you would have your name, number on the website. if you're-
I'm on
are you okay with that?
Well, the forest committee already kind
Okay.
of assigned me to be the point person for
Good.
people doing stuff up there.
Alright. But if we needed to close the trail for some reason,
But I'm big on trying to morph it into other people doing it eventually, so I
Okay.
forget it.
so you'll start for now?
I'll start for now and reach out to more people in town to
All right, I think,
work it with me so they can take it over.
think we need a motion
For Brenda,
as steward.
I move, whatever you need the wording to be. That Brenda be designated, trail steward for Wickapee Woods.
Any seconds,
Second thought.
I'll second.
any discussion? Right,
Do you wanna amend that slightly to say, and to have something about the co-steward, because that sounds like,
Yeah, I
A good
think we're,
idea.
we're pushing activity up there, so I'd love to have a co-steward doing other things too.
Mhm.
I'd like to
So
have
to-
one person who can,
lead steward.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, we have two for Orchard Road. I don't know if we need two for.
I can be lead for now with
Yeah.
the intention
Good.
down the road to morph it
Great,
into whoever I can recruit.
sounds great. Excellent. All right, shall we have a vote? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
All right, and then maybe we want to cover. Do we want to cover Drew Lot as well? There's no signage. They do have an MOU. How are you gonna handle signage over there for where the trail is and?
The same thing, we hope to have a kiosk there with a map on
Okay,
it.
all right.
And then if there's a trail steward, where that woods where, as you remember, we're treating that woods with the MOU. Have you guys looked at it? It's being treated slightly different, more protected. So Wickapee Woods, we're really doing a lot of involvement. We got another group of kids coming up on the 6th in the morning. Rudy and I recruited into that one too. But this one, we're a little more cautious. It's got open wells. We're gonna be more, it's got a lot more wildlife. It's deeper woods. It's tougher walking. It's wetter. We're preserving everything over there a little more. It's more quiet. strenuous
That ridge
looking.
walk, once you get up there, is quite amazing.
It's,
You-
it's
you earn
actually,
it.
it's got an amazing foundation. It's
Yeah.
just a quiet, deep woods.
Yeah.
You have to be up there to appreciate it, but
Is there one trail, would you say?
there's gonna end up being more, but we have to address, that'll be down the road.
Okay.
Because you gotta
So-
address those wells.
This is
So
the
right now,
wells.
there's one trail
One
that
trail.
you went on,
Yeah.
and then whatever
Up
you
into the
guys
ridge.
create,
Yeah,
following the advice of that wildlife
Yeah.
individual who came down here to keep it
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because the wildlife, that's where they're wintering.
Yeah.
Over there.
Okay.
And I know that for a fact, and they go right through there, so we wanna impact them. It's not gonna be impacted in a huge way. That's a more challenging woods.
The wintering is in the kind of the old growth area.
Yeah, they get a pretty good path. They're winter, I would say, between that and right up to Betty and Ellen's.
Mhm,
You know, and the state is starting to recognize that. I've known it, they've known it for years.
mhm.
Okay, so. Do we wanna
It's on our
look into a
program.
trail steward for that too? Or do we wanna wait until it's more established with signage?
I think that's a
Good.
project for you guys to look at for the future. So you
Okay.
might be in the unfolding stage. You go up as a group and
Yeah.
plot out where you want to have that trail go. Come back, get approval from the forest committee.
Sounds good. So maybe we'll
Then
hold off and,
think about your signs then.
yeah,
And maybe
Kevin and
Just
I are
keep an
working
eye.
diligently on the kiosk.
I wonder if we have that money for. We had talked about a plaque as a thank you to Mr. Chester, but I'm wondering if we maybe wanna use that on signage for Drew Lot.
Use what on the signage?
The money we have for trails, use it on signage for Drew Lot. Don't know how much I can stretch it, but. About $600 or something, can't remember exactly. We might get more from the Ranger too. This year,
We do a good job.
we do, no pressures on. So, okay,
does seem like could be nice to sort of catch, work at catching that up to the,
yeah,
woods, Wickapee Woods.
yeah, well, look at the woods.
Not, I don't mean catch up entirely, but I mean,
Thousands of dollars in signage.
but I mean,
but we could use the same kind of signage that we used on the legal trails.
Yep.
Just hope he uses a better cutter this time. The wood was a little damp and. Anyway.
It's a little-
It's the character we deal
Yeah,
with, is right,
right.
he's legendary. Yeah.
I've got a couple of routers.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do for signage, but it could be a project
need-
for us.
we essentially just need to buy material and paint.
Well, I threw together two.
Yeah.
When we had that walk.
Yeah.
I literally threw them together,
That'd be great.
just threw some paint in the letters after I read it out.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That doesn't look thrown together.
it doesn't look thrown.
No, not the sign. The sign I put work into,
Okay.
but the arrows and the trail with a sign.
Yeah, it's all well done.
They're not hard to do with a router, and then you paint the letters and then seal over the top of it with an arrow.
What's your hourly rate?
It depends how many people help me.
All right, so
And
let's,
that's a plus or a minus.
how about,
Yeah, it depends on the people.
let's come up with a material cost and then we can talk about it next month on
Just
spending that
Yeah.
on the signage.
continuing with, precious butternut or whatever.
We do have butternut. We do have butternut. I don't know what to do with it yet. There's a fair amount of it. It's sitting in log form.
All right, and then the final area is Strawberry Hill. So I haven't seen any legalese on the deeded trail. Right, that will not come through us. It will go through the select board. So, but they are buying some signage for the entrance of that trail. And they're wondering if the Trails Committee could volunteer to help put the signs in on Strawberry Hill, if we're open to that,
Yeah.
on June. Okay,
June eighth,
yeah,
Is
so,
it June 8th or 6th?
When is I know they're having an event up
yeah,
there.
Event is the 8th, I think.
It's the 8th.
yeah.
That sounds right.
so demarcated as.
So I will send a note out to
It's gonna be
this group on
Memorial.
volunteering for,
Oh, that's
bit.
nice.
for-
Oh, that's
for
really
the two
nice.
events, so June 1st and then June 8th.
What's is brief summary on the status of the estate?
They're looking to sell it. But they were gonna add language for deeded access to Strawberry Hill for the town.
That's great.
And then this group would identify a steward for that and look after it.
So Strawberry Hill from multiple, it's accessible from,
Only
Is
from
it from
Moody,
oh,
Moral,
okay.
only one.
just a short,
The,
straight
up through
shot.
the field,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
that's
Which is
good.
generous, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
best view in town
Yeah.
in some ways.
Oh, I know, I walk over there often.
And they're trying to be careful who they sell to, obviously they wanna sell.
Yeah.
But, they hope to have an owner who will continue to allow further access, but no guarantee there, right? So,
Is it on the market?
I don't know. I don't know if they're selling it privately or publicly.
I believe they have Tom scrambling around doing stuff. I
Yeah,
think there's.
yeah.
Active people
Kind of
looking.
imagine someone like
In
Tom is
process.
a good steward for that, right? But.
Hmm.
So. Given the history, or Kevin. Oh yeah, we haven't signed you up yet.
I did hear him say he walks over there
Oh, yeah.
often.
I got signed up for one because you weren't at that meeting. We're just kidding.
I might.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
consider that, yeah.
That'd be great.
No, that whole area, all there, Strawberry Hill, White Rock.
Yeah.
All those.
Yeah.
I'm on regular rounds.
Yeah, so that will be important. I think.
Good. Yeah, so just a question about so I heard signs, Strawberry Hill and signs and June 8th. So it's the idea, so because they've purchased signs, they
have
the
purchased
Chester
signs, yeah.
family.
Yeah, let me find her.
So what you're suggesting specifically is that we be there, some of us be there
Yeah,
to
she's asked that. yeah.
put them up, and that would be the day to do it, as opposed to like having them up in advance of the event.
She's ordering signs that say this, we want to order some, put up, no, okay, actually, she wants to put them up before the June 8th.
Mhm.
event.
Mhm.
So let me work on that.
Mhm.
Park here for a trail, stay on trail, please no motor vehicles, please close the gate, Strawberry Hill Trail. That's what she's.
Is the picnic taking place at the top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which daughter is doing it?
Enfield,
Penfield.
Okay.
So signs up before.
June 8th, yeah. And I'm trying to distribute some of the tasks, so my, it's not like I can think of. She doesn't give me that look.
You might
That
want
look.
to ask if Tom, you might want to ask if Tom is also, if they're recruiting him to help with it.
Okay,
Because
Yeah.
if they are, he knows that
Yeah.
land inside and out. He
Yeah.
has a tractor,
exactly.
has an auger.
Great. We'll work on that. That is it for the agenda. Again, tell me if you do not want to join the committee next year. Obviously, if there's others that want to join, they would need to be appointed by the planning commission, right? So. Right. Shall we end?
Can I ask,
Sure.
do any of you know young Jim Sweeney?
Mhm. Quite well.
Would he be a good person to ask about joining the Trails Committee?
He might. He
Just,
goes through spells where he doesn't want to volunteer things.
Yeah.
But there's no harm.
Don't we all?
He was clearing a huge maple on the,
Class 4 part of Hoyt Hill headed up,
where you going up
Words.
farther towards
what I
Dennis.
know,
Always
sunny
work.
sides there.
It's
Yeah.
always worth it. Yeah, I had a blast with him on rescue.
He knows that territory really well.
Hmm.
Well, Tunbridge.
Well, he used to live on that property for years.
Okay, okay.
Sunnyside.
Well,
No.
Sunnyside, Stender's
No,
Camp, and
I'm just,
Denny Emerson's camp.
I'm
up
saying
there.
I'm very familiar with Sunnyside as well.
That's how you walk down there.
That's how I get over.
I've
all-
seen your bicycle tracks. on
We-
there.
we-
You
You're there.
have, you have,
Our
you
Jim's
probably,
picking
I
you
won't
up.
deny it, as a matter of fact. Denny has, showed me where the key to the Stender camp is if I need water, after climbing those hills. Go on in and help yourself.
Do
Anyhow,
any of
we
you
had-
know the details on the peat bog?
The one up by me? As far as what?
History and curious, I know of its existence and that's about it.
It's, I mean, it's a few hundred yards from my house. It's some pretty intense habitat area. It's the headwaters of the Fardham Branch. Yeah. But I don't know, I'm curious about why that peat bog had been subdivided out as a separate parcel.
See here, that's what I was curious if you knew the
Yeah.
history of,
Yeah,
was it worked commercially?
I don't know. I don't know if Alan Howe was the one that separated that out or if it had
I
been
think it was
separated
pre-
prior.
I think it was previous.
Yeah. Yeah,
Merle used to run his heifers up there.
yeah,
Merle Howe.
yeah. Rob Howe used to prune the apple trees in my orchard, hay those
With me
fields.
sometimes, he and I
Yeah.
went up once to pick them.
Yeah,
You weren't there then.
welcome to them.
All right, any other? Anything else? Shall we end? All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Peter, for joining.
Thanks. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for attending, Peter.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Thanks for your comments on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't stir the hornet's nest too much.